The grave was dug 3 times. The first time, no one questioned it. Old Mr. Holloway had died alone in his farmhouse at the edge of Blackwood Cemetery, his face frozen in a look of pure shock. The doctor said it was a heart attack, but the gravedigger, Elias Crow, swore the man's eyes had been wide open when they lowered the coffin, staring, as if he knew something they didn't. By morning, the soil above the grave had sunk. They blamed the rain. The second time they filled it, Elias packed the dirt tight, stomping it down until his boots ached. He even placed heavy stones on top, muttering a prayer he barely remembered. Yet when dawn came, the grave had collapsed inward again, as though something below was pulling the earth down, gulping it hungrily. That night, Elias stayed. From behind a crooked headstone, he watched the moonlight stretch across the cemetery. The air smelled wrong, damp, metallic, like blood soaked into rusted iron. Then he heard it, scraping, not from above, from below. The ground over Holloway's grave trembled. Dirt slid inward, grain by grain, whispering as it vanished into the darkness. Elias felt a pressure in his ears, like the earth itself was breathing. Then a voice rose from the hole. Too light, it whispered. Not enough. Elias ran. By morning, the grave was open. The coffin lid had split down the center, wood bent outward like broken ribs. And inside, there was no body. Only long, deep scratch marks carved into the oak, all pointing upward. The town council ordered the grave filled a 3rd time, this time deeper. Much deeper. They poured concrete over the coffin and sealed it with iron rods, as if they were burying a sin instead of a man. For 1 full day, the grave stayed still. On the 2nd night, people began to wake screaming. They dreamed of being buried alive, of hands pressing against their chests from inside their ribs. Children claimed the ground beneath their beds was sinking. Dogs refused to go near the cemetery, whining at the soil as if it might bite back. Elias returned to the grave on the 3rd night, drawn by guilt he couldn't explain. The concrete was cracked, a handprint pressed from underneath, perfectly formed, fingers splayed in desperate need. The earth around it sagged and slithered inward, feeding whatever waited below. The voice returned, clearer now. Graves are for the dead, it said. I am not done. The ground split open. Something rose, not a man, not a corpse, but a hollow shape wearing Mr. Holloway's skin like a poorly remembered face. Its body seemed unfinished, stitched together by shadow and soil, as if the grave itself had tried, and failed, to keep it. Elias understood then. The grave wouldn't stay filled because it was still hungry. And it would never stop pulling the living down to finish what death had started. By sunrise, Blackwood Cemetery had one more empty grave. Elias Crow was gone, but the earth was still sinking.